My name is Griffin and I am an English Open Doors volunteer. I'm originally from Lancaster, Pennsylvania in the United States. Yeah, and before I came to Chile, I went to university, McGill University in Montreal. I studied political science, and prior to coming to Chile, I was working as an English teacher, teaching English as a second language in Montreal. So I was a VS2 volunteer, which is the year-long service, and I was placed in Punta Arenas in Magallanes in the south, in Patagonia. I had always wanted to come to Chile. It has always been high on my list of places to visit. And while researching different opportunities abroad, I had wanted to teach English, and this program gave me opportunity to work in a public school, which is something it's a rare opportunity for someone who's not a licensed teacher in that respect. And it seemed like an opportunity to really do something different. And so I jumped at it and I embraced it. I think it exceeds the expectations I had in every way. I'm very glad that I chose to do the year-long service as well. I think it gave me an opportunity to really get to know the culture and really get to know how I fit in here. And it's been a wonderful experience in all facets. My host situation, my family situation, my school, obviously, and the people that I've met, people I've come to know here. It was difficult to leave, and I've already told everyone that I will be back, and so it's only a matter of time. It's been just a wonderful experience. Amazing support throughout. I mean, from the beginning, from the moment I sent my application, NBC and the ODP have been on top of everything, and always keeping things rolling and being very supportive, always responsive to emails as they're sent. Throughout my service, I've never had any issue that couldn't have been solved by talking with either my regional rep or the NBC. Just very highly responsive throughout the entire process. I mean, having some prior training as an ESL teacher, coming in, I knew what to expect a little bit, but it was great having a little refresher course, and considering it's only a week in the beginning of the training, I think it prepared, even for me, I thought it prepared me very well. It was great to brush up on techniques and classroom management styles, and there's only so much you can do in a week, but I think the training was excellent. And I think it prepared people who had never stepped foot in the classroom before. I think it prepared them very well. And I've only heard that from everyone that's been through the training. They said that was perfectly sufficient for what they needed. It was excellent training. Punta Arenas it's a very difficult place to describe. It's down there. It's the end of the world. It's down there by itself. It's truly a wonderful city. I arrived just as it was going into winter, and so that took a little getting used to. It was, dark all day, snowy, rainy, windy. But the thing that I love most is people make the most of it, and they don't let that, affect them. They say, you know what? It's raining. It's asado time, of course. So every weekend, once or twice a weekend, it's asado time. Los Magallánicos, the people of Punta Arenas, people of Magallanes, are incredibly warm people, very open, very welcoming. From the moment I arrived in Punta Arenas, it was I felt like I was welcome there, and I was invited into so many homes and into so many people's lives, and it's truly a remarkable place. It's very unique, and I really have nothing bad to say about it. So my host living experience, I think, was a little unique compared to the majority of volunteers in the program. I lived with two other volunteers, and we lived with a single Chilean man, a younger man who worked and studied. So it was very, I wouldn't say it was a typical Chilean family experience, but it was an authentically Chilean experience nonetheless. My host was, gracious from day one. He's become one of my very, very, very good friends here. His family, is my family now, and his friends are my friends, and I think also having the support living with 2 other volunteers. We could, we go to school during the day and we come home and we can reflect on how things were, and so I think that was very rewarding for us too, and that helped us get through if we had any difficult times. That we helped us to push through those. And yeah, it was. I wouldn't. Looking back, I think I was a little apprehensive. I was like, no, yeah, I'd like to live with like a Chilean family, have that real, authentic family experience. But looking back, I would never trade my experience for anything. It was remarkable, truly. Amazing opportunities for hiking. It's beautiful. It's in Patagonia. It's right next door to Torres del Paine, very famous national park in Chile. There's Los Pingüinos. You can go see the penguins. There's day hikes everywhere. And the city itself is just very beautiful to walk around in, and there's little festivals happening here and there, and just little opportunities to go out and do something a little bit different. So it was, we made do, and we found a lot of things to always occupy our time, and obviously we had a lot of friends down there as well, and so it was great to interact and experience the culture in that way too. And so yeah, we definitely had a lot to do. I was very apprehensive at first. When I arrived in Chile, my Spanish was okay. I could pass. It wasn't like I was having conversations of any kind, and I said, I thought, oh, how am I going to be able to communicate with the teachers in my school, and with the kids also at different times. And so I was nervous, and I never having worked in an actual school like that, let alone a school with 700 students. Very nervous, and it took me a little while to get used to it and to find my place in the school. But honestly, from day one, the teachers and the faculty treated me as a peer. Throughout the entire 7 months that I was at Contardi, I was constantly invited out for functions with teachers, and official or non-official, morasados. And so from day one, and the administration was supportive the entire time, always asking me how things were going, if there's anything they could do for me. I was very fortunate in my placement in schools. I had not a single bad experience, not a single discipline problem the entire year. And I think that speaks volumes to the student body and also to the faculty. And truly remarkable kids in my school. I love them dearly. I miss them already. We got very close this year. It's going to be very hard not going back to work in Contardi again. Just really bright and inquisitive kids, and just very grateful. And even the students who were very shy at first and didn't want to speak English and were just very hesitant. Even they would come out by the end, and even with a "How are you?" just a little thing, and they just want to interact, and they just want to learn about my culture, and how things are different, and whether or not we have completos in my country, and just little things like that. And yeah, so I'm going to miss them very much. And then I think overall the absolute best part of my experience has been my kids, and being able to work with my kids. Just truly wonderful kids. In the beginning, I'd say, because I didn't know my kids and they didn't know me, just establishing that rapport at first, knowing what I could get away with, and having them know what they could get away with as well. I think that was difficult, and it was a little not forced, but it was a little more formal at first, for the first, I'd say, month or so. And then the more I got to know my kids, talk to them during the breaks, and I get to know about their lives and things are happening, and then they start to relax a little bit. I start to relax in the classroom. I start to know what they like to do, what they don't like to do. My older kids, they're like, "Profe, no, we don't want to play games, really. We're more about having conversations and really practicing." My septimos, we want games every day. We got to have games. We got to have candy. And that's important. So just getting to know my kids really, I think, helped me overcome that initial period of I guess, me being unsure of how things were. I mean, honestly, I chose to come to Chile, and especially for the year-long service, because I was pretty unsure of where my life was headed. I wanted a different experience, but I had no concrete plans. So I was like, okay, I'll go to Chile for 8 months and try to push it off a little bit more. And I'm still kind of in the same boat, but I think I have more clarity as well with what I want to do in my life. And honestly, I think having worked with Sétimo Básico through Tercero Medio, all those age groups, and I spent a week just visiting with kids at the Básica school. My school has a Medio and a Básico. Just a wonderful experience, and it honestly makes me truly happy to work with kids in some way, whether as a teacher or in some facet. I think that's where I'm headed in life. It's just very rewarding for me, and so I think this program and this experience has given me a lot of clarity as to that, and it's given me some direction. In Chile, I mean, I'm not leaving yet. I'm sticking around. It's a massive country in a lot of ways. It's a very diverse country in a lot of ways. Living in Punta Arenas is totally distinct from Santiago, and is distinct from Valparaiso, and there's the north, there's the south, there's everything in the middle, and I barely scratched the surface, and there's, I think, a lot more that I need to see here before I'll be ready to say, okay, I can leave and go on to the next adventure. And so, I think I'll be sticking around for a little while and see where it goes, and I'm open to whatever comes. Definitely as part of the teaching experience, but also part of the living experience was take things as they come. Things are not going to happen necessarily when they're supposed to happen. Things might happen differently. Take it on the chin, roll with it. Stay flexible. I think that's very important. There were days when I showed up at school and I said, "Oh no, we don't have classes today." I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess, okay, I'll go home then." And then that's just how things are, and that's not bad. It's just what it is. So definitely, I think a sense of patience. Developing more my sense of patience and flexibility is definitely something I'm going to take away from it. And I think I'll be able to meet new challenges head on wherever I go, having this experience under my belt too. Yeah, so I'll be traveling around Santiago, probably the central region, for a couple weeks. I'll be going to San Pedro de Atacama in the north for a week, just to vacation and unwind a little bit before going home for Christmas. Coming back for New Year's, hopefully to spend New Year's in Valparaiso, which I've heard is nuts. So looking forward to that. And then in January, I'll start working at a language school in Puerto Varas in the south, and continue with that at least until the end of March. And after that, like I said, I've already told all my kids and everyone in Punta Arenas that I'll be coming back. So I think I'll probably head back down there to visit at the very least. But if I can find work, I'd be very happy living down there as well. So I'm open to whatever comes. Go for it. Just speaking from me, obviously I'd highly recommend this program. Anyone who wants just a very unique experience, and all the volunteers that I'm close with and that I've talked to have had similarly positive experiences. They've loved their time, either from volunteers from the year-long service or from the semester services as well. It's truly a unique opportunity, and should be embraced by anyone who has the opportunity to take it. For me, honestly, having done the year-long service, I highly recommend the year-long service. I think I gained a lot more from it than I would have having done just a semester. I think I needed that full year to really feel at home. I feel like Punta Arenas is my home away from home, and I feel very comfortable there. I have my life there, I have my friends, my family there. And I think it's something that may or may not have come about had I only been there for a couple months or a few months. So stay flexible. That's the biggest piece of advice. Roll with it. And just enjoy it. Enjoy it for what it is. It's a remarkable country with wonderful people. So I definitely highly recommend it. you have to like working with kids. You have to like that. If that's not your cup of tea, maybe this isn't your program. You know, this experience, you know, as much as it is about living in Chile and learning Spanish and experiencing the culture, I think it's the most rewarding for me, and I think I think for most volunteers will be the students. You know, students from my school, but other schools that I've met too, through winter camp and whatever else. They're just really great kids, and they deserve someone who's going to be, you know, there for them and, you know, excited about being with them and working with them. And they're truly gracious students. So open-minded, you know, love working with kids, and, you know, we have a blast, honestly.